Welcome back, friends, and this is going to be a very short discussion of the periodical literature that flourished during the 18th century and which could be thought of as a period of great, periodical essays, journalistic writing, everything combined, which creates the new genre of periodical literature. Of course, as we all know, periodical literature as a separate genre emerges in the 18th century with the pioneering works of two people, Steele and Addison. And as we know, these two people were prominent figures, one connected with the theatre, Drury Lane, and Addison held very high positions, particularly as the Secretary of the State towards the end of his career. And both of them enjoyed immense popularity in the 18th century England, but for the last 4 years of Queen Anne's rule, when they went out of favor. Well, how did it all begin? That is the question. In fact, Steele was the founding editor and a regular writer in the London Gazette, which was an official newspaper that normally appeared twice a week, listing government appointments and reporting domestic and international news, almost like the modern newspaper. And later he became the manager of the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane. And Addison, as I told you, he held very important positions, later becoming the Secretary of State. And both these writers wrote plays. Say, for example, Addison wrote a play titled Cato, and the other person, Steele, wrote The Conscious Lovers in 1722. After trying their hands at all these, finally, Steele was trapped in debts. He needed money. And Addison lost his office. And these drove them to journalistic enterprises, which was a very landmark event because it resulted in the publication of the first popular periodical named The Tatler by Steele. It was started in 1709 by Richard Steele. He launched The Tatler under the pseudonym Isaac Bickerstaff. And he sought to attract a large spectrum of readers to his writings in The Tatler. And look at the title. The title itself was a bit for female readers, and it contained mixture of news with personal reflections on various issues, and it soon became very popular in London coffee houses and even at breakfast tables. Well, the paper appeared on 3 days, on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, regularly from April 1709 to January 1711, with 271 issues in all. Well, when we compare the contributions of Steele and Addison, we find that for the Tatler, the maximum contribution was made by Mr. Steele rather than Addison. And after the closure of the Tatler, both of them started another called The Spectator. Of course, we know the Spectator Club and Sir Roger de Coverley as the main character in that. It appeared daily except Sunday from March 1711 to December 1712. It was stopped for a while but briefly resumed by Addison in 1714. In fact, The Spectator could be thought of as the joint undertaking of these two people, Steele and Addison. And Spectator and Tatler, as popular periodicals of the period, had many imitators. And even in its own day, there was another named the Female Tatler, and soon appeared a female Spectator also. And besides, Samuel Johnson started his Rambler as a periodical besides his Idler, and Oliver Goldsmith started another which did not last for long, a periodical titled B. But if you look at the kind of subjects that were dealt in the writings by Addison and Steele, it presents a very interesting mix. Diverse aspects of English life, such as good manners, morality, daily happenings in London, going to church, shopping, investing in the stock market, the fascinations of trade and commerce, gender roles and relations, the personality types found in contemporary society, high and low entertainment, taste in literature, luxury goods available, even philosophical speculations, all became the subject matter of the writings of these two writers through the two great periodicals, the Tatler and the Spectator. And we will see a proliferation of such periodicals, particularly journals and magazines, by the turn of the 19th century, but it was all the result of the new genre which was popularized by Richard Steele and Addison. That's all about periodical literature of the 18th century. Thank you very much.